week to make sure that you know how to use Lead Manager. And if you've already been with us for a while, you more likely are using PopCard. So we're actually going to be getting away from PopCard and going straight into Lead Manager. So since we do have a few people on the line, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. That way we don't hear any interference. If you have any questions, feel free to use the raising the hand icon and go ahead and type in your question, and I'll go ahead and answer any questions we may have. All right, one moment. Let's see. All right. Okay, thanks for your patience. I was just emailing another person that was joining. All right, so PSI Lead Manager. Go to the screen. You're going to see me toggle through a couple different screens. I'm actually going to go from the PowerPoint also to the live environment and to the training environment. So the training environment, you'll probably see that in a blue color. So it may look a little different than what you're used to in PSI, but for the most part, I'm going to try to stay in the live environment to not confuse you. So we're going to go over the dashboard overview in PSI. We're going to go over the Approvals tab, the Leads tab, and Applicants. So from the dashboard, you'll manage all your leads from prospect to resident. And you will notice on the dashboard tab here, make sure I don't have any questions, dashboard tab, you can pretty much kind of go from left to right. And this is going to be like your daily duties of what you're going to want to conduct every day when you log into PSI, into Entrada. You're going to want to make sure that you work anything from left to right. The purpose of the dashboard is pretty much to keep track of your daily tasks. So that can be anything from new applications, new leads, new emails, renewals that come through, maybe amenities that are being reserved, that are being requested. So you're going to want to make sure that you follow those tabs every day. So the taskbar, it helps organize your tasks by categories and by importance. So always work your taskbar, like I said, from left to right and then up to down. You'll also notice every tab itself usually will have a sub-tab, and the sub-tabs will also give you extra duties of what you need to do under that main task. All right, so you're going to notice different colors here that are going to be on your dashboard. I know a lot of you guys already use Entrada now, but if you're new with Mill Creek and new with using Entrada for the first time, you're going to want to make sure you pay attention to the different colors. So with the colors, you're going to notice a gray, yellow, and red, and we'll go over each one of those. And you'll notice the different colors here on the tabs and also on the pages themselves. So gray is going to be pretty much normal, so it's a normal activity that came through the queue. And usually your normal activities could be something that is just a normal lead that just came in within a 24-hour period. Maybe a new request as well, a new work order. Yellow means it's important. If you're in the status of important, that can, when it comes to leads in general, it could be a lead that's been created for more than 24 hours that has not been, nobody has followed up with this person, so that lead actually, priority is going to change to a yellow. Also with applications, it may go in yellow priority if you have an application that's been complete for more than 1 day, or screening result is showing conditionally approved, and we haven't done anything with that application yet. So those are some of the things you want to kind of look for as far as the different colors. So you have gray for normal, yellow important, and then last but not least, there's red, which is urgent. Urgent can change when it comes to if you have an application that's been completed for more than 2 days, or if the screening result shows as denied, it's going to show that actually particular that applicant in red, urgent priority. Also, if you have a follow-up, a lead that has not been followed up within 48 hours, it's already going past 48 hours, then that priority is going to change also to urgent from important. So if you go to the handout that you have that we sent out, there's going to be a PDF. And the last page of the PDF, you're going to actually see this column here. You're going to see the important and urgent priority columns. And it kind of gives you a breakdown of each one of why it would either be important or when it goes to urgent. And then, so it's kind of good just to make sure you can maybe print this out, have it at your desk for a while, for a couple of weeks until you get more familiar with the different colors and why each one changes. And there's also a follow-up lead scheduling as well for your community. All right. All right, so we're going to go over the quick view and just pretty much kind of give you an overview of the dashboard in general. So the quick view, just to go into the live environment here for you. Second. Okay. So this is the dashboard. When you log in, this is what you usually would see. You have all of your tabs, and under each tab you have your sub-tabs. And these are the different colors we talked about. Red would be urgent, and then everything else would be normal, would be gray. Okay? All right, so the right-hand side here, we actually have the quick view. And the quick view is going to give you different tasks and different kind of shortcuts in the sense of what you can do in Entrada. You all more than likely should have received an email today of how to set up your calendar for your property in Entrada. So this is not going to be your own personal Outlook sign-in. It's actually going to be a shared calendar that we have set up for your particular community for Entrada itself. So if you click on My Calendar, you should, oh, I'm sorry, I'm actually in the live environment. Let me show you from the testing, 1 second. If you click on My Calendar, you should see pretty much like a weekly view. You can put it to view as far as today, week, or month. And it's going to show you any kind of events that you have on your Outlook calendar, also with anybody else within your community. Maybe you have one of the leasing agent that has a training, they're doing a webinar tomorrow, or they're going to be on vacation, or any of those kind of themes, they're actually going to show here on the shared calendar. So this is how we kind of use to also set appointments. You may have somebody that actually has a amenity that they wanted to reserve. You can go ahead and from the dashboard go to that particular amenity. Let's see here. For example, this one here, there's an elevator that's wanting to be reserved. Click Approved. Go to the date and time of when they wanted to actually have that added. Go to your calendar. Click on the plus sign for Add Event, and then you can put like elevator reservation, put the time in, put your notes, and then you can save it. This also goes for appointments as well. If you have someone that wants to make an appointment, I'll show you guys how to do that. Or if you need to just block out some hours, maybe you have someone that's coming to come train your office. You can block out hours just by adding an event that way. All right, I'm going to take a moment really quick to see if we have any questions. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you guys 1 moment. All right. Does anybody have any questions so far?
No, not at the moment, thank you.
All right, great. Okay. All right, so if nobody has any questions as far as the calendar, we're going to go ahead and move on. Okay, so also from the quick view, you can go ahead and create a lead. You can create a work order. And those are some of the kind of the faster things you can do instead of having to go into the Leads tab, click on adding for a guest card, click on this button. You can actually just do it from the dashboard itself. So the quick views are very, very easy to kind of use. The next tab actually is going to be your metrics tab. And this will go ahead and give you all of the available units you have, available to lease, occupied. You can see how many prospects you have in your pipeline at the moment, how many applications you have open. And just by clicking on the words itself, it'll go ahead and open that for you so you can actually see. It'll allow you to filter out to anything that you want to filter out to for your community. But for example, I wanted to see any leases that are pending, so it pulls up all the leases pending for my community at the moment. Same with, I know some people like to pull an availability report. You can pull all the ones that you have available to lease by clicking on available to lease. And you can click on available ready and view all the apartments you actually have ready at the moment. So this is kind of a shortcut in the sense if you want to see any of these particular items that you have already sorted and trotted that are coming from Yardi. The next tab is the filter tab. And if you work with multiple communities, you can actually select multiple properties and add to your list of what you're able to view. You can also, for example, if you just want to see what a particular employee has been doing, or if you just want to view all your leases or applicants or prospects that you're currently working with, you can go ahead and uncheck all and just select one person and filter out, and it'll actually show you all the people, all the applicants, prospects, leads that actually you're working for in general for that particular agent or staff member. All right. Here. You're also going to see an icon. Usually they have these under every tab or next to the sub-tab. You'll see a little icon for reports. If there's a particular report that goes along with that particular tab, then you'll be able to pull a report that way and view it. For example, if I went to the maintenance tab and clicked on this report, I'd be able to pull a report of maybe any open work orders, maybe any closed work orders. It'll allow you to view those. All right, so we'll go ahead and start with the different tabs on top. The first tab is the Approval tab. The Approval tab will only be visible on the Community Manager and Assistant Community Manager dashboard. And the Approval tab should be there, but you won't have any kind of permissions in the sense to actually access to e-sign a document or to approve a renewal. So this is mainly for managers and assistant managers to go ahead and approve any applications, approve any leases, and go ahead and countersign them. All right, so the next tab is the Leads tab. From the Leads tab, you can contact new leads, you can follow up on existing leads, you can convert referrals into leads, and you can also listen to calls and convert into leads. All right, so I'm just going to show you that really quickly here. In 1 second. Give me 1 moment, guys. I'm going to go ahead and we have some people that are trying to view the link and could not. Okay, so the Leads tab here, you can actually assign different leads to agents. You can do that individually. You can also view your never contacted, and your never contacted would usually be any leads that maybe have come in through the night. They may be new email leads in general from all your ILSs. And then you have the follow-up tab. The follow-up tab is actually going to show you a couple different things. It's going to show you your leads that you've either created a custom follow-up for, or they're actually, if you look at the last page of that PDF we gave you guys, there is a follow-up lead scheduling. So Entrata will automatically create a follow-up for you once they've already sent you a interest in your community. You'll have an immediate follow-up that's required. And then 3 days later, you'll have one as well. And then 7 days, it'll also create another follow-up for you to follow up with them. And then after 14 days, if we don't have any kind of movement with this particular lead, it'll go ahead and auto-cancel. So it'll go ahead and cancel the lead in Yardi, and it will also take it off of your dashboard here. So if you're looking at this dashboard in general, you're not seeing anything under never contacted, anything under assign agents, nothing under follow-ups. So this is kind of how you want your dashboard to look on a day-to-day basis by the end of the day. Or throughout the day, you want to make sure you go through this and pretty much clear it out. The referrals tab, if you're not familiar with referrals, it pretty much depends on your particular property. If you offer a referral fee or have a referral program on the resident portal, they can go and click on refer a friend and put in their friend's name and their either phone number or email address, and it'll populate under the referral tab here and allow you to create a guest card for that person so you can reach out to them. Answered calls. The answered calls, this could be from the Entrada call center, or it could also be from maybe a call that came in through one of the ILS numbers that's recorded on your phone line. So you can go back and listen to those calls here. So you usually want to go back and listen to these calls. You'll click on review. It'll allow you to hear the call. And depending on what the call was about, you can actually either create a lead. Maybe it was a work order. Maybe you need to attach this to an existing lead. Maybe they're just calling back to follow up on something. Or you can dismiss or archive it if it was maybe a wrong number or something that was not pertinent to your property, and then click submit. Another reason why it's a great idea to go ahead and review all your answered calls is just to make sure that since the majority of the answered calls are actually getting answered by the Entrada call center, we're going to make sure that they're on the same track and giving the correct information for your community. So it's always good to go back and actually listen to those calls yourself and make sure they're correct. All right, so there are several methods of contact when it comes to creating a follow-up for your particular lead. So if you remember in PopCard, we had maybe a outgoing call or an incoming call or sending an email. Pretty much you have the same steps you have here in Entrada. So you can send out an email to them, and that will count as a follow-up, and it'll take that lead off of your follow-up list, and it'll decrease that number by 1 until your next follow-up is due. You can also enter an outgoing call, or maybe they called and you would want to label it as an incoming call. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of what that looks like, I'm going to go to, let's see, my training environment here. So let's see, for Stacy Walker, if I wanted to go ahead and, I see she's urgent. I have not contacted her in a good while. She was last contacted on August 27th. So if I clicked on the checkbox for her name and then drop down under contact, I sent her an email. It'll allow me to send her an email if she actually had an email address actually that was attached to her name. If she does not, then you're going to get that error message that was just shown. When you're working the leads, you'll have this column that says what's next. And if you click the drop down for it, it gives you all of the different follow-up types that you can actually go ahead and add for this particular person. As far as best practice, it's always best practice to go ahead and open up the lead itself before you actually contact them, just to make sure that you look at the lead history and make sure that none of your other associates have already contacted this person. So in general, let's see here. I'm going to go to follow-ups. I'm going to use Kim Vickery. And while this is populating, you'll notice the different tabs on top. So you'll look at the lead history, and you'll see any kind of communication that we've had with Kim since a guest card has been created for her since that first call. So if I was going to go ahead and follow up with her, I'd want to make sure that nobody else in the community has already followed up with her today. All right. So, like I said, from the lead history tab, you're going to want to review the information below, before responding to the lead. All right, so from the lead profile, you can email, you can schedule an appointment or follow-up, or create notes about your follow-up. I'll go ahead and show you guys that here. I'm actually going to use a test person that we have. Let's see. There it goes. And I want to show you guys the email process first. If you're going to go ahead and use the email follow-up as a tool. To the right-hand side here, you're going to see an email icon. You're going to see a schedule appointment icon and a schedule a follow-up. So if you remember in PopCard, we had custom follow-ups. That is pretty much what your schedule a follow-up is going to replace that with here. All right, to send an email out, you'll click on Send an Email. And any merge fields that Entrada has, we'll go ahead and pull from the guest card. So as far as name, all the information for your community, whoever logged in. So if you're the leasing agent, it's going to go ahead and merge and put your name as a leasing agent for responses. So you can go ahead and put whatever email you want to send to them. Marketing actually has already made this easier for you. Just like in PopCard, we have those response templates. We have response templates here in Entrada as well. So just go through here and you can see which one actually would be best for this particular follow-up. So if maybe I'm doing my 3-day follow-up after they've already toured, then I click on this, and then you're going to want to insert it. Click OK. And it's going to go ahead and populate with this response template here for you. Before you send this off, you always want to make sure you read it. And if you need to personalize it a little more regarding that email, you can go ahead and do that. See, so it says we are currently running some fantastic specials right now. No, I don't want you to miss out on them. Anything highlighted here says type current specials. Go ahead and erase that and let them know, what you're offering. Offering 1 month free on all 12-month leases. Okay. So it's going to say thank you for your interest, and you'll see property name. So anything you see in asterisk is already going to, like I said, it's going to pull from the merge field, and it's going to auto-populate with the correct information. If you wanted to attach any files, maybe you wanted to add some extra specials, or you wanted to add some floor plan pictures, you can do that from attach files, and then click send, and that'll go ahead and send the email for you. I'm sorry. Of course, you have to put a subject line. All right, let's click send, and that'll go ahead and send your email through. So once you've sent that through, it says your email has been sent. And the nice thing about this is that you can actually go back and view what email has been sent to the particular prospect. For example, if I was working on this particular lease and I transferred to a new community, and now you're working on my lead, you can actually go back to the lead history here, go to, okay, outgoing email, go to the right, you'll see a pretty much like an eye icon. You'll click that, and you'll be able to view what the prospects are seeing as far as the email here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you guys for a moment and see if anybody has any questions right now. 1 second. Do you guys have any questions at the moment? Anybody?
Nope.
All right, no questions. Awesome. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to appointments and doing a custom follow-up. Okay. Go back to Mike here. All right, so that was the email icon. The next one is going to be the schedule an appointment. And when you're scheduling an appointment, you click on this, it's going to open up the calendar for you. That way you can actually view what slots you have available. And then once you view the slots you have available and you're talking with your prospect as far as when it would be a good time to come tour, then you would click on Add Event like I showed you earlier, and then put in the time, and that'll be on your community calendar, so all your other staff in the office will be able to see that appointment's there. That way y'all can manage your time wisely. The next tab is the Schedule a Follow-up tab. When you schedule a follow-up, you would assign it to either yourself, and then the reason for your follow-up is going to usually be follow-up, the date to follow-up, and usually you want to do custom follow-ups when it comes to somebody maybe moving. If I came to tour today, but I'm not ready to move until maybe April, you're not going to contact me 3 days later, 7 days later, and continue to do that process until then. You're going to want to follow me a little closer to that time frame when I'm moving in. So if I'm moving in April, I'm going to go ahead and maybe move this to maybe the week before April 1st here in March. And one of the most important things I want you guys to see on custom follow-ups is it says mute all follow-ups prior to this date. So one of the things that we're always wanting to make sure we do is have our follow-up list completely empty, because that means we've worked all our follow-ups. So if I keep it on yes, that means I'm not going to see this follow-up until March 28th. If I have it on no, then this follow-up is going to be on my follow-up list every day until March 28th. So you want to make sure that this is always on yes, so it mutes the follow-up. You can put any notes you need to put, and then click Save. All right, so it added my follow-up here. So now I can see when my follow-up is. I can click on the eye icon, so I can view any notes I had on that particular follow-up. So that's creating a custom follow-up. You're going to notice a note section here. And the note section is pretty much just what it is. It is a note. So say you wanted to add something extra on them as far as a note. Let's see here. Let's maybe interested in a 2-bedroom as well. And then you can put, follow up later, or just notes in general, maybe still looking, put the date and time. I added that note, so now it's just a note. If you go into the prospect guest card like I am right now and just added a note, it's not going to take that follow-up off of your follow-up list because a note is not a follow-up. In order for me to take that follow-up off my follow-up list, I would have to click on the drop-down, either put outgoing call, like maybe I'm doing my calls now, or maybe I'm doing a incoming email or incoming call, whatever the case may be. One of these here would actually constitute as a follow-up for this particular lead. But if I just clicked on note, it's not going to take it off your follow-up list. If I send an email out from here, it's actually going to take it off the list because that constituted as a follow-up. All right. One thing that you may notice, I'm just going to go back a little bit just to make sure everybody's aware of. It says there are several methods of contact. You may notice one of the drop-down is a send an email. I'm sorry, send a text message. Send a text message does not work for prospects. Send a text message only works usually for residents, and the reason being is because once they're a resident, they can go into Resident Portal, and they can go to their profile, and they can select if they allow to have any SMS messages come to them, notifications. So as a prospect, they don't have that profile just yet set up under the prospect portal to go in and allow to have any kind of text messages sent to them. So if you try to click on send a text message in Entrada, it's not going to allow you to send a text to them because they're not set up for SMS notifications. All right, let me get back on track here. Just wanted to make sure I went over that with you. Okay, so when recording a tour, only select one unit. So pretty much the same the way it was in PopCard. We only want to select one unit that we toured. If you want to enter more than one unit, you can go ahead and just put that in the notes field. So if they toured 101, 514, go ahead and in the notes select, and document which units they toured, but only click on one unit as far as touring. You'll notice Entrada allows you to add another unit, but please do not use this function. This will throw off your showings in Yardi, so we want to make sure that all that is accurate. Just make sure that you are aware of how to do that. Let me go back here in the live environment, click the drop down, click on Tour, and then you can go ahead and put whatever follow-up maybe they submitted their application. And unit toured, it'll allow you to pull up any units that are available. Hit complete. And you can go ahead and if you like, if they tour this unit and they actually want to go ahead and start applying for it, you can click Set Unit on Application and make sure the time and date is correct for your tour and click Add Tour. Oops, I can go ahead and add a description here. Okay, so that'll go ahead and if you look under unit information here, that unit that we selected actually will go ahead and start the application process for as far as reserving this particular unit. All right, I do see a question. Give me one moment. Let me go ahead and see. Okay, we have a question. I believe this is as far as email. That says, we don't have to auto-change the template, right? As far as auto-changing the template, you don't have to auto-change it. You can definitely just select the one that you want to use, but it will allow you to insert any other words or change anything you need to change in that particular section there. As far as any additional templates, if you want to send something to marketing as far as, hey, I need this type of maybe email follow-up, go ahead and let them know, and they'll create one for you with your logo and all the Modera and Alistair specifications, and it'll be in, they can insert it into Entrada for you. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on here. Any other questions at this time, you guys? All right. All right, so this is a great feature. I love this one that we do have that Entrada offers. It's actually quotes. So with quotes, you can generate a quote in Entrada, and they expire within 48 hours. And it'll allow you to go ahead and offer certain months that you have available, the unit, and it'll allow you to go ahead and put that quote into effect once they decide that that's the quote they actually want to go with. Just to give you an idea of how that works. There's two ways to do a quote. If you click on Applicants, if you click on Quote, there's a Generate Quote button here, or under a shortcut, you can do More Actions and do Generate Quote. So the Generate Quote will list the unit that they have available. Click the unit, click Continue, and for example, this property only is only offering a 13 and 14-month lease. So if I want to offer those two choices, then I would go ahead and just leave those still there. If I wanted to add any additional rentable items to quote, I would click those if they had any rental items that are set up. If they have any pets, I can put if they have a dog, and maybe I'll just put save. All right, so my dog here, and then I can save all in print, or I can save all in email. I'm going to go ahead and save all in email. All right, so this quote has been sent out to Mike, and then it's going to go ahead and generate here for you to view. So this was sent out. If I want to print it, I can go ahead and print it. And just so you can see what the quote actually looks like in general, you're going to have the logo for your property. It's going to have who the quote is created for, your information, the direct phone number to go ahead and start the leasing process, as well as email. It's going to say when the quote was created, the quote number, when it expires, so it expires 48 hours from the 7th. It'll show the unit details, the floor plan. It'll have whatever fees we have for the community. That way they already know up front. It'll show, I put that they had a dog, so it's going to show the security deposit. And we're offering either a 13 or 14 month at the same price. The recurring charges, if there's a pet fee, shows $50, and whatever the total monthly fee will be with the pet fee and rent. So this quote pretty much gives them everything they need to know as far as what they're looking for if they're going to go ahead and rent a particular unit. So let's just say Mike decided, you know what, let's go ahead and go with that. I want to go with the 13 month. We can click on 13 month here and click on apply quote. And since that quote is still within that 48-hour period, that's going to go ahead and send him an application. And as you notice, the application went from info requested to application open. So under applicants, now we have the unit already set, some of the basic info, and they just need to go ahead and fill out the rest from the prospect portal side. So quotes, use them. They're a great tool. And the nice thing about them, it's tracking in your documents. So you can always go back and look at what quotes have been sent out. So like I said, if you're working a new lead that somebody else is already working, you can go back and actually see what's already been sent out to them so you know what you're working with. All right, so referrals, we already kind of went over that a little bit just so you can kind of see a picture of what that is. Once somebody goes onto the resident portal and refers their friend, it'll fall under the referrals tab here. And all you need to do is just click on create lead. And that'll go ahead and create that guest card for that referral. We also went over listening to the calls and allowing you to pick a call action. All right, so from the applicants tab, you can follow up on open applications, follow up on open leases, and generate the leases. So that's going to be your next place of interest. Let me get out of this guest card here. It's going to be your applicants tab. So you'll know who you need to follow up with. You'll see whose applications have already been completed and approved. So now you know that under generate leases, now I need to go ahead and go through these and generate these leases for your community. So I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 leases that need to be generated. So just to kind of give you guys an idea, when it comes to having an application that's already been completed and approved, when you have that generate lease tab that's already available and showing you how many you have to make, go ahead right away, generate those leases, and send those invites out. We want to make sure that once they're approved that we have those leases that are sent out right away to them and that they're already countersigning. Don't wait till move-in date or a day before move-in date for you to generate that lease. We want to generate as soon as possible because that's going to reflect great on your numbers and your occupied percentages on these percentages. So make sure you're keeping up with your community and sending those out right away. So once again, you can contact applicants in several ways, but the best is to open the lead profile before a contact. So as well as the leads and applicants, you can either send them an email, or you can do an outgoing call, or send them, or you can, if they call you as well, you can label it as an incoming call for your note. Okay, that's pretty much it as far as Lead Manager. Very simple. Does anybody have any questions at this time regarding Lead Manager we can go over for you? All right, I don't hear any other questions. Once again, if you guys have anything else that comes up during your process of the changeover, please feel free to call me directly. If it's something that support can help you out with their training that we need to cover, email us at support@mcrtrust.com. And when you get a chance, like I said, review the last page of the PDF just to make sure you are aware of this page and the importance of the urgent and important tabs. All right, thank you guys for joining me today. If you have, oh, sorry, I do have a question. One moment. Where's my question? Rachel, I know you have a question. It's not allowing me to view it. One moment, you guys. No. There you go. Okay. How do you add a walk-in? Okay. So as far as adding a walk-in that has come into your community, let me go ahead and pull that for you guys. I'll use Mike again. All right, so adding a walk-in, you'll click on the drop-down, and you can do on-site visit and put the notes for that particular person, put the result of what the issue was, the date and time, and then click add as on-site visit. And that's pretty much all you would do for a walk-in. If the walk-in turned into a tour instead, then you can simply just label it a tour. There was one icon here that I didn't go over. It's tour missed. Tour missed pretty much would be if you had an appointment that you already had set up and they didn't come for the tour, you can go ahead and select the follow-up as tour missed and put the reason why. It says contacted lead, yes or no. Usually you want to put yes because we do want to follow up with them and find out what the issue was, why they were not able to attend, and maybe you put it more likely an outgoing call. And if there's going to be a new appointment that we need to follow up with, then we can go and put the notes and then schedule a new appointment for them. Okay. Right. If nobody has any other questions at this time, we're going to go ahead and end this. Let's see. All right. Will PowerPro push our walk-ins to Entrada? I believe the as far as what PowerPro does, PowerPro actually pushes them into Yardi, which in real time goes into Yardi, and Entrada pulls from Yardi as well. So you'll be able to find your prospects that have been put into PowerPro in Entrada. No problem. All right, you guys have a great rest of your day, and thank you for being on the call. Bye-bye.